Today we're going to be discussing the birth of the weaponization of the media. And the reason why we're going to be talking about that today is because I discovered a very interesting act that came into effect in 1996, the Telecommunications Act, which was to deregulate the broadcast and telecommunications market, allowing anyone to enter and compete. Now, that sounds lovely. If you're the average person, you're like, yay, if I want to go into media, if I want to go into telecommunications or broadcasting, I can go step in now because it's deregulated. And I think that's what they wanted us to think, and that's what they wanted us to believe in. But in reality, I think a lot of people at the time probably weren't thinking about that. And what they were probably trying to do is they were probably trying to create an opportunity where people could just dominate if they wanted to. And that is where we have found ourselves, because we found ourselves in a position where back in the 1980s, there were like 50 different media companies in the United States. And we are now down to just 5. And that is because of this act. Well, I think this had a part to play in it as well, because it's making it easier and easier for companies to dominate in multiple different areas without being regulated. Now, obviously, the deregulation the regulation in and of itself is one of those things where it's a lose-lose, because if you regulate something, it has to be, well, it's not lose-lose, but it can be a lose-lose, because when things are regulated, it's only good if things are regulated if they're regulated by the right person who actually has the right intentions. Now, I think the only person who could really regulate the world the way it needs to be is Jesus, and thank the Lord he's coming back to actually do that. But without that, if you have a corrupt person regulating, i.e., let's talk about what's going on in North Korea. I mean, let's talk about what's going on in even China or North Korea at this point, to be fair. You know, there's a lot of regulation, but it's not good regulation, is it? Because they're being regulated to the point where people can't even say their own opinion or just do their own thing. And then deregulation now has allowed, do you know what, now that I think about it, I actually think deregulation is better. And I think it's better because at least it gives the opportunity for the average person to just say, you know what, if I want to go up against these people. Now, most people wouldn't necessarily do that. And the thing is, a lot of people who are in power now are just people who had the balls, if you want to think about it, to just go for it. And I think that's why a lot of them have managed to dominate. But it's just interesting to see how this one act of deregulation opened up the market and enabled for anybody with whatever they want to do. Because the thing about the media, and I've spoken about this, is it makes sense to have a media platform or whatever, because you can control what people think. This is even why with influencers and everything now, why is it that people, when YouTube started, no one was getting sponsors, all of a sudden we're getting sponsors? Why? Because that's going to generate income. And that's having an influence on people, and thus, obviously, as I mentioned before, influencers. So yes, I thought this is a very interesting act to discuss, and just kind of discuss how these laws that are passed, and I believe this is passed in the United States, but how these laws and things are affect us, and if we always think about the pros and cons of all of them, because there are different pros and cons surrounding the deregulation. I mean, the pro that I'm thinking now, and that I think a lot of people are thinking, and a lot of great media outlets are online are doing this now, is that people can just start their own media outlets. Like for myself, I definitely like to watch the Epoch Times is a good one. I have their app on my phone, so I really enjoy. They're always posting interesting news, and it's very unbiased. They do post from both sides. And there's other outlets that I like to watch and listen to as well that are a lot less biased. So I think it's good that at least people can still have their outlets if they want to, even if it's on YouTube, and even if it's on YouTube and you're going to get demonetized and your video is going to get whatever, right? At least we do have that freedom in some regard, and we're not like in the situation that we're in say, like, you know, China, like I said, where you can't even think for yourself. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think about the deregulation. I think it was a good thing. I just think the people in power, they knew what they were doing and they did it to benefit themselves, and they were the ones in the best place to capitalize off of it, you know. And so I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts. I'd love to hear, would you guys actually, like, if you had the opportunity, would you genuinely give up the media platforms you use now and switch over to other ones if you knew that like your favorite creators were going to be there? I would love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe as well. I appreciate that so much, and thank you for all of you who do subscribe, and of course like the video if you did like it. I know some of you just want to hit a like, you don't necessarily want to talk, but you might just want to like and be like, yeah, I messed with what you said today, Nyasha, and I like that. Other than that, God bless you all, and I'll see you in my next one. Goodbye.